Seahawks fans, something big is brewing behind the scenes, and if you blink, you might miss the wildest shakeup of this training camp. What looked like a simple position switch, just a regular test, has suddenly flipped the script on the entire offense. One guy who'd been steadily climbing the depth chart got moved, lost some ground, and now a rookie has stepped in, been practicing on his own, and seems to have already locked down that spot. On the other side of the ball, things are just as intense. A key piece of our defense is sidelined with an injury, opening the door for a pack of hungry young guys looking to prove they belong. But here's where it gets even crazier. There's buzz going around the facility about a big-name vet, someone who already thrived under our head coach, and he might be just a step away from landing in Seattle. There's a whole lot happening at once, and none of it's random. Every single move is shifting the shape of this roster, and fans who are really watching can tell Seattle's cooking up something huge for this season. So go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because if something's going down in camp, you'll hear it here first. Let's go 12s! Let's kick things off today with a move that got folks talking early in the offseason: Brady Russell transitioning to fullback. Yeah, Brady, who came in as an undrafted tight end, started getting reps at FB in Clint Kubiak's offense. That alone was big news, especially since Seattle basically ditched the fullback role in recent years. But with Kubiak bringing in that classic Shanahan-style scheme, fullbacks are back in business. This looked like the perfect window for Russell to earn snaps and maybe even carve out a spot on the 53-man. But then came the draft, and Seattle picked up Alabama's Robbie Utes, listed right away as a fullback. The writing was on the wall. It was going to be Russell versus Utes at camp. Only, that's not quite how it's played out. According to Greg Bell from the Tacoma News-Tribune, Utes was repping solo at fullback last Thursday, while Russell was back working with the tight ends. Brady Henderson from ESPN had already hinted at this shift a day earlier. And in a presser, Coach Mike McDonald said Russell moving back to TE wasn't directly tied to Noah Fant's departure. Still, everything points to Utes having that FB job on lock. And honestly, it checks out. Utes is 6 feet 3 inches, 273 pounds, was used primarily as a blocking tight end at Bama, and fits the fullback mold perfectly. He's got pop at the point of contact, solid gap vision, and brings it in the run game. McDonald actually had a great quote about Russell. What Brady brings to the table is that he can do some fullback stuff, some tight end stuff, gives you more versatility. But in reality, it's Utes taking over as the primary FB, and Russell falling back into a crowded tight end group. And that's a problem. With Russell back in the TE mix, he's now fighting for a spot against A.J. Barner, Elijah Arroyo, Eric Saubert, and two undrafted guys, Nick Callerup and Marshall Lang. Russell's presence seriously complicates the chances for those UDFAs to make the cut. What started as a battle at fullback just turned into a logjam at tight end. And all of this happened in under 2 weeks. Camp's already going off the rails, and we're not even at the first preseason game yet. Now, if the offense is heating up, the defense is dealing with its own fire, especially on the interior D-line. Seahawks did the obvious this offseason by bringing back veteran nose tackle Jonathan Hankins. Solid run stopper, major presence in the middle, he was a rock for our 2024 defense. Played all 17 games, started 8, racked up 30 tackles, 5 TFLs, 1 sack, and even picked off a pass. But surprise, Hankins opened camp on the NFI list, non-football injury. Coach McDonald says it's a back issue. And yeah, red flags are flying. Dude's got 12 seasons under his belt. Been through the Giants, Colts, Raiders, Cowboys, and now here. That wear and tear adds up. McDonald reassured us Hankins will be fine long-term, but they're easing him in. That gives the young guns a golden opportunity. Guys like Quinton Bohanna, Brandon Pilei, Bubba Thomas and Justin Rogers now have a legit shot to show out. With Hankins sidelined, this camp becomes a proving ground. Who's got that first step explosion, who can hold their gap, who understands the new scheme. And here's the kicker. Hankins played 390 snaps in McDonald's system last year. That gives him a leg up, but this break could shape the next man up. And speaking of impact situations, the one that's got everyone holding their breath right now is an outside linebacker, Uchenna Nwosu. He balled out in 2022 after coming over from the Chargers. But since then, he's practically lived in the rehab room. He's missed 22 of the Seahawks' last 34 games with injuries. Torn pec, MCL sprain, and now knee surgery this offseason. So yeah, he's on the PUP list. And McDonald's update wasn't exactly promising. "We'll see," he said. Then added, "We'll get through camp and then see where we're at. But right now, we're not close." That pretty much tells us Nwosu is going to miss a big chunk of camp. And the question becomes, how much longer can the team wait? Seattle restructured his deal this offseason, showing they still believe in his talent. But durability has become a real issue. While he recovers, the team is prepping the next man up, Boy Mafe. He's expected to step in as the starter. Derek Hall should also see a jump in reps. And like they always say in the NFL, you can never have too many pass rushers. That's why there's buzz around bringing in another vet. One name that keeps coming up? Jadeveon Clowney. The guy had 9.5 sacks last season under McDonald in Baltimore, second most on the Ravens behind Mattabike. And Clowney doesn't need to be on the field 100% of the time to cause chaos. He's a great rotational piece. He's similar in style to DeMarcus Lawrence, who the Seahawks just picked up from the Cowboys. Imagine a rotation with Lawrence on one edge, Clowney on the other, and Mafe or Hall keeping the pressure steady. That's tailor-made for McDonald's system, full of shifting fronts and disguised looks to mess with quarterbacks. Clowney's current market value? Somewhere between $4 to $6 million on a one-year deal with performance bonuses. Totally manageable under Seattle's cap. A smart, low-risk move for a guy who knows the system, has playoff experience, and still produces. And when you zoom out, all of these moves are part of a bigger picture. Slotting Utes in as the full-time FB doesn't just affect his spot, it changes how the whole offense operates. A fullback opens up 21 personnel, bolsters the run game, helps in pass pro, and adds some disguise with motion. That's exactly what Kubiak wants to install. But to pull that off, blocking needs to be elite, and that's where Utes shines. That's what he did at Bama. Meanwhile, Russell becomes a wild card. He could slot in as TE2 or TE3 depending on matchups. On defense, Hankins' absence might accelerate the rise of someone like Bubba Thomas, explosive, good hands, but still learning play recognition. And with Nwosu's future up in the air, the idea of bringing in Clowney becomes even more logical, a bridge between veteran leadership and steady production. All of this shows how fast things shift. What felt locked in back in May is now totally up in the air by July. And that's why this 2025 training camp is absolutely pivotal in shaping the new Seattle Seahawks. What's happening in Seattle right now is way bigger than roster tweaks. We're witnessing the beginning of a whole new era, new coaching staff, new offensive coordinator, retooled systems, and players being tried in brand new roles. And this is all before the first preseason game. The Russell versus Utes battle. Hankins' absence. Nwosu's uncertainty. The potential Clowney interest. Every single piece is being tracked down to the tiniest detail. Now I want to hear from you 12s. Do you think Utes has locked down that fullback job? Or can Russell still flip the script? And on defense, should Seattle go after a veteran edge rusher or stick with the young bucks? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk it out. And hey, if you don't want to miss a beat this season, hit that like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Things are about to get wild, and you'll catch every moment right here with us. Let's turn up, Blue and Green Nation. Make some noise, 12s. Go Hawks!